Hi, welcome to the room tour of our two-wheel drive van, the Vanagon. Well, first up, why the stupid name? Well, in America they call the VW T25 or VW T3 a Vanagon. We bought this van for not very much money. It used to belong to a children's entertainer called Captain Coconut. He left some of his stuff in there. He was a Rastafarian pirate, by the way. So the name Vanagon stuck, and that's the theme we've carried out throughout the van. We're known at Campervan Culture for having some pretty specialised 4x4 rigs. But in this case, what we wanted to do is buy something that's in reach of everyone who owns a car or owns a camper van, and just show you how you can have full use of a two-wheel drive van that's capable enough to take you off the beaten track and up and down these gravel roads that I've been taking here in Portugal and Spain over the last few weeks. Let's start taking you through the vehicle, and we'll start with the outside and what's going on in that area. The first obvious point is the vehicle's height. This has been gained with the wheels that we sell on our website, these 15-inch wheels, all-terrain tyres. Also do those very nice centre caps, and this allows us to put a nice all-terrain tyre on there, which gives the van a lot of ground clearance with the bigger tyres and the suspension spacers that we sell for front and rear. Also, you'll see we got some rock sliders, which are pretty nice. These are obviously to stop the van getting hit on the side, but ultimately if we need to jack up the van using a high lift, there's jacking points there and there, and this is very useful. We've got a full roof rack that we adapted from another vehicle, which is really handy with full solar setup up there. Great for storing recovery tracks and other stuff. Also, you can see we've got the ARB awning, which we have on pretty much every vehicle we've ever owned. They're the best awnings by far, and that's why we stick to the ARB. This one's mounted to the roof rack, but we do a kit for gutter mounts for various vehicles, but mainly the VW T25, T3 Vanagon or the VW T2. We also do them for the T4 and T5. The Vanagon logo proudly mounted on the front, and you can see that we've also got some wolf boxes up there, and we also make this side ladder which goes from the rock sliders to the gutter, so you can get on your roof rack from the side. We also do one in case you don't have the rock sliders that fits into the jacking point there and goes up there to the gutters. On the front of the vehicle we've got our headlight upgrade loom kit, which is very valuable to make your headlights usable. They're very bright, and also the truck mirrors we sell on the website. The bull bar on there is actually a rhubarb from Australia. It's for kangaroos. Mixed ideas with most people about bull bars, but ultimately the crumple zone for this van is my legs, and if I can protect my legs in a crash, that would be useful. One of the top 5 upgrades we've done on here, which have been really handy, is our front brush plate. So what this does, it actually sits lower than the fuel tank and the engine sump, so if you hit anything and it hits that brush plate, then you know you're going to be in trouble further down the vehicle. It fits to vehicles without a bull bar, and then it gives you the confidence to hit trails at speed, knowing that you can keep up your momentum to get up them. If you're going to be taking your two-wheel drive van down trails, I highly recommend you use one of our brush plates. Security wise, visual deterrents are very important. We fitted these extra locks, sliding locks, as well as them being very effective as a lock. It's also a visual deterrent, so any would-be thieves might look at that and might look at a van next to us and think, oh, this one looks like it's going to be a bit of trouble, and steal the one next to us. We have these locks fitted to the both front doors and the side door for that extra protection. And also we make these multi-language fuel stickers that are really good. It just stops pump attendants putting the wrong fuel in the tank, which nearly happened already. That saved us having petrol put in the van, because all the pumps in Spain are operated by a pump attendant. The solar panel up top is only a 100 watt solar panel. We actually have a solar blanket as well that we use, so that's plugged in by our grill plate pods, which is super handy. Add in a solar blanket, and also this scan strut point as well gives us the option for 2 USBs. That's for our light, to power our light for the awning. The Vanagon's actually quite an interesting van because, as you can see with those vents, it is a factory panel van, but if you look on the sliding door, there's a factory sliding door with window panel fitted, and on the other side there's also a factory window fitted with the recessed panel. Very unusual to have that on a panel van. It must have been some weird factory option that was chosen when it was made. Now let's take a look at the back of the vehicle. Again, the van's lifted. You'll see how much ground clearance we have. You see the exhaust back box, you can hardly see it. On some engine conversions you can see that back box, and it actually comes way down here. Add the tailpipe sticking down and literally you get a rock that big and all your engine's going to get ripped off because the sump's really low. This engine is a 1.9 normally aspirated diesel engine. There's no turbo, no electronics to go wrong, no complications. Any mechanic can look at that engine and fix it on the road in any country, anywhere in the world. This time I'm carrying a fold-up bike. This is Louise, my partner's bike that I borrowed for the trip. It's on the drop-down tray. We used this old one up that we had kicking around from a previous product line that we used to stock. We've actually improved on this massively now, and we make our own that's got the OEM look and function. It's also the tray that we do will fit a wolf box. Doesn't rub against the door when you close it and stuff, so in our opinion much better. This swings out so you can get into the back of the vehicle, and then it's got one of our ladders fitted that we make for the rear tailgate. Now, because you can't use this as a ladder now because we mounted the spare wheel on here, that's why we've got the ladder around the side. But if I ever wanted that back to a ladder, I can just get the wheel adapter and put it on the swing out, and then that leaves this free. But this is really useful for storing the jack and some other tools that we might need on the road if we ever get flat tire and what have you. Again, another one of our products is this that allows you to stash away your jack and what have you, like I've just said. You can actually lock that if you want as well, but yeah, that's good for keeping all those heavy, dirty items out of the way. Let's next walk you through inside the cab and what's going on in here. As you can see, it's got the 3 seats set up, which is pretty damn cool. And this van has still got the bulkhead installed, so it keeps the cab and the rear separate. Kind of for a camper, it's nice to have the twin seats and swivel bases at the front, so it makes room in the back. But for security and to keep those 3 seats in the front, it's pretty neat in this van that it's got that option. The dashboard is equipped with one of our cargo gear dash covers. These are absolutely amazing at storing all of that stuff that you want to keep private out of the way. These are really good. Main thing is it covers the dash and stops a metal dash from getting hot. And if it's not getting hot, then it keeps inside the van a little bit cooler. Also has these storage pockets in there. So in here I keep sort of vehicle documents, logbook, insurance papers, some bigger notes, money just in case I have any run-ins with the police. And then in here, smaller pocket, sunglasses, you know, pens, whatever. It's hard to do with one end, but there you go. Yeah, all that stuff can go in there. And then in this one here, I keep a little drone inverter for the camera battery. There's a little solar panel in there as well. Spare camera battery, you name it, it all goes in there. And that way it can all be put away and no one even knows that stuff's in there when they look in. Got the Scanstrut Rock phone holder, which is epic. Really good marine product by Scanstrut. Basic dash. Down here I like to put a sticker just of my height, which is 2.2 meters. When I see height barriers, also I change these knobs for the knobs we do on the website, which gives you the red one, which you know which is actually for the heater. Basic stereo, plenty of power points right there, and also you know, it tells me the voltage of the two batteries, the starter and the leisure battery. But that's pretty much the cab inside. There's a few. This Rasta scarf here was from what Captain Coconut left in here, as well as that. And this is really funny actually, let me show you this. This was his ID. Official. Yeah, that's quite funny. So we just kept that in there for laughs. Behind the seat, front seat, I keep air compressor for when we have to air down, going off-road and stuff. And underneath there is one of our under front seat lithium batteries. Now, of all the things I've fitted for this trip, the new lithium battery that we do has done an absolute amazing job. Now, there's an app, and on the app you can keep track of how much power you've got in the battery, how much left at the sort of discharge rate you're using, and also how long it will charge up for, you know, when your solar's in, your solar blanket, or indeed if you're running your engine. Now I have got a compressor fridge fitted in here, so that runs full time as well. But all in all, the lithium battery has been absolute epic. We ship these to the UK only, and I suggest you really look at getting one of these. Well, that's pretty much what's going on the outside and in the cab area. So let's take a look inside at the camping part of the van. Well, inside I've got the standard multi-van or weekender full bed setup. Also the interior with the buddy seat. Water is supplied by the wall mounted container there. Fill this up anywhere that you can pull this off, fill it up, put it back, and then there's a turny tap there. Very simple, very effective, and it's been working great in this trip. Got one of these compressor fridges. Mixed results with this. It's one of those cheap ones. Thought I'd give it a try, and this is where it fails on a lot of parts that are proper fridge, shall we say, like an ARB would excel, and this is why these things are so cheap. It does kind of keep up with the temperature wise, although it's very hard to keep it super steady on you know, exact settings. This one's got two compartments, got a big deep one there and the shorter one there. You can have it as fridge, freezer, fridge, I don't know, vice versa, whatever. These baskets are pretty handy, fit in and out. But this thing, I don't know why it does it. It's got a little chopping board as well. But can you see this white stuff? It keeps getting this kind of white furry stuff appearing on the lid. It also condensates up massively, that lid, which makes moisture drip down there. And every 3 or 4 days you get like that much water in the bottom. Not so good when it's touching your food, because I can imagine that stuff would give you the shits. Not too bad if things are in bottles, but it's not ideal. And I'm not sure how healthy this kind of... I mean, I only cleaned this morning, so it shouldn't have much on, but can you see? It's kind of white powdery stuff. I don't know, not really too keen on that. And also these things, I'm not sure if there's any insulation in the lid, but if there is, it's not very much, because when it's supposed to be -18 in there, when you turn it right down, that's still got water on the top, and as you'd know, anything -18 should be frozen, and that underside of that lid doesn't freeze, it's still water all the time. So cheap fridge, it does the job. If I was on a serious trip more than a month, I'd probably just get myself an ARB, and I wouldn't waste my time and effort with that fridge. Oh, and also the compressor, when it's running at night, is bloody noisy, and it clangs around a lot, the whole thing. So, I don't know, I'd give it like, out of 10, I'd give it like a 4. For value, like 6. But yeah, it's not the best, but kind of does the job. Cooking wise, I use this single ring with one of those cartridge things for the gas, or propane, butane, whatever it uses. Everything pretty much goes in the wolf box there for cooking, and then for eating, the table folds up and down. There's storage underneath the bed there. I've got an ARB add-on room for the awning in case I fly in with guests in the future, so they've got somewhere to stay, because, you know, anything more than 2 people is a squeeze in here. Tons of storage under there. I've also got, there's 3 Euro boxes on that shelf up there where I keep my clothes and other spare blankets, knickknacks and what have you. And then for everyday use stuff, use our stash pockets. We make these, they're brilliant. Keep like spices and stuff in there. That fits a toilet roll. That's great because it just fits a packet of baby wipes in there, so that's really handy to get to. And these things are pretty much everywhere in the van. They're just so handy, and that's why I can use a van with no kitchen unit or cupboards, because everything's away in these stash pockets. You know, they're even at the back there. They're everywhere, and yeah, really good, really handy. And there's ones that I'm not even using. And then in the side door here, when I close it, I'm also using our cargo gear side door panel. Again, this fits like more stuff than you'll ever need. Here's the light and the tent pegs for the awning, and there's the brush. In here is like some spare bags, leads. In here I've got candles. Down there's a bunch of stuff because that's a full length one. They're brilliant. And then there's also one that we do for the rear tailgate. I'll show you that one in a moment. But yeah, so with a combination of that, all the stash pockets, what's under my feet here, and with what we've got back here, there's absolutely tons of storage room, tons of power points up there, LED light, which is great at night. It doesn't use hardly any power. That's pretty good. And then we've got this little panel here that we've had made just for the bits and bobs, and just to give it a little bit of privacy through that hole in the bulkhead. Let me show you what's going on in the rear hatch. As you saw before, you can get to those Euro boxes from the inside. You can also get to them back here by pulling those out. Bed wise, we do these amazing bed toppers. So this protects your seats. Also the ridges in those seats, they can be quite uncomfortable. This takes away all that. Gives you like a superior night's sleep for sure. We do them for full width like this one. We also do them for vans with like a wardrobe in either side, so kind of 3/4 length I suppose. They're awesome. And also underneath that, we also do these covers for your mattress, so that keeps that all nice and tidy, stops your mattress getting wrecked in your mattress cover. And again, we do these in smaller sizes just in case you've got wardrobe in the back of your van. Again, stash pockets everywhere, super handy for keeping your gear. And also our cargo gear tailgate storage panel. This is probably one of the best things in the van for storing stuff. That one I keep my laundry, this one PJs, so it uses the wasted space inside the door panel, so when you've got your laundry in there, you've also got storage and insulating properties of that. We don't like putting that kind of fiberglass stuff in there because it causes mold in there, and with your head being so far here, you're breathing in all that mold from the insulation and those fibres, and it's not very good for you. So we remove that and we use these storage panels that we produce, and I've got to say they are pretty good. And a quick look in the engine bay. This is a 1.9 non-turbo diesel AEF engine code, I believe. It's pretty much just like the 1Y but with a few more horsepower. No turbo, nothing, normally aspirated. Very, very simple. So there you've got your air intake, so you've got your air filter, diesel pump, you've got your oil filter, alternator, battery, fuel filter. That's it. So if you get a bit of engine trouble, your mechanic can check the the fuel pump, check the air intake, check the bloody oil filter, fuel filter, water. You can get to the, you can check your oil by pulling this down, which it was the factory position. There's also your expansion tank there and your oil filler. So you don't need to empty the whole contents of your van to check your oil or water. I don't know why you'd want it any other way, because that's perfect. And that's pretty much the engine setup. It's not the fastest. Originally it was a 1.6 non-turbo engine in this van, so it had the 1.6 very low geared gearbox, which was pretty crummy on motorways and stuff. So what I did, I had fitted an ABB gearbox from a petrol van, so it's much longer gears now, and the engine's a lot happier without it revving its tits off the whole time. But as you can see, there's lots of room in there. It's very, very simple. Absolutely zero electronics to go wrong, because let's be honest, they will at some point if you do have those. And I did run an extra oil cooler to the front and a radiator just for peace of mind, to keep it nice and cool. So that's the engine, and I absolutely love this setup. Another thing about the engine as well is that it's not going to chew the gearbox up like a lot of the higher horsepower 130 TDIs, like the PD for example. The power in the engine is the brake to stop that extra going through the gearbox. The gearbox can't take 130 horsepower, I'm afraid. That's why a lot of the guys use a flipped Passat gearbox. So with this, it's great because I know that the gearbox is going to be fine. So going off-road and down these tracks and stuff, you know, the engine will tell you when that's enough for the gearbox. If you keep powering it through, it's just going to damage it. I mean, we've got a TDI in the Synchro that goes through gearboxes pretty quick, and at £4,000 each build for a gearbox, it's not ideal. So it's kind of nice having something like this that, you know, it's just not getting chewed up all the time. Still gives awesome miles per gallon, and it's working really well. I hope you liked that room tour of our two-wheel drive van, the Vanagon. Follow our adventures. Take care.